So today too, we are just going to learn how we can configure um, static IP address on our window machine or on our computer. So before we will deal with this static IP address, and then you have to learn more about it. We have static IP address and then dynamic IP address. So for the static IP address is it's a fixed um, unchanging address assigned to a device on a network. We use static IP address because some device have to find a server or another device at a particular or a fixed address without changing it. That for consistency aspect. And then static IP address is necessary for VPN connection and also remote access connections. And for server hosting, a server must have a fixed IP address, example, web server, mail server, and other email online or other online services. So the static IP address is configured by the network administrator, and then it is fixed, you can't change it. And then dynamic IP address is a flexible address assigned to a device network by DHCP, that is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. It's a protocol that whenever a device joins a network, it assigns IP address, subnet mask, and related information to the device. And based on that information, the device uses it to configure it in the network settings. So it's mostly suitable for home network and then most of internet users, and then device that doesn't require any static address. So let's learn about this subnet mask issue. So subnet mask also is a 32-bit number that helps determine the scope of a subnet or a subnetwork and define which IP address belongs to that subnet. So the subnet mask divide the IP address into two: the network ID, that's for the network, and then the host ID, that's for the host. And it's important in routing and the network organization. Routing helps the user, the router, to determine which network packet is going that is need to forward to. And the network organization is about it organizes the devices in the network very well. So example of the common subnet mask is 255.255.255.0 or /24 for silent notation, or 24 dash bit mask, and then 255.255.0.0 or 16 bit mask or /16. So the /24 and /16 is a CIDR notation. Okay, so let's go on to a protocol called DNS. DNS also is a domain name system. It translates, the keyword there is translate um, domain name, example www.example.com or www.gmail.com, www.google.com to its IP address, any domain name that you know. So now let's go on to how we can configure our um, network to have a static IP address. So we move on to settings with Windows plus I. Then we move on to network and internet. And network internet, based on the interface that you are using or adapter that you are using, you might be using Ethernet, or that's a cable aspect, or Wi-Fi, that's wireless aspect. So I'm currently using Wi-Fi, so I'll go to Wi-Fi settings and then hardware and properties, that is for viewing and then managing the Wi-Fi adapter properties. So I'll also go there. So now we know that Wi-Fi property, it means that currently it's using DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, to assign IP address. That's a IP assignment. So we'll go there to configure. So edit, then we make it as manual. As I said, it's configured manually by network administrator. So we turn on your IP version 4. That's commonly to configure. So before we will type anything here, we have to check what IP address are we using now. So you can do that by going to your command prompt and typing ipconfig. Is a command used to check your IP configuration. So I'll move on to the wireless LAN adapter Wi-Fi. So that is where I can find my Wi-Fi IP address. So we have IP version 4 to be 10.141.181.227. So that is your IP address, and we are going to change it to 10.141.181.20 because the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. It means that any number from 0 up to 255 is available for use. So let's go and then let's turn it to 10. And the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. And then a gateway, that's for the router aspects. So let's check the gateway again. So the gateway, make sure it's correct. If not, your network won't work. So let me copy it and then paste it again. And then preferred DNS. DNS, as we said, is a domain name system. It translates your IP address to translate your domain name to IP address. So let me use the Google or public domain name system 8.8.8.8. So let me turn it to automatic, and then alternative.8.4.4 or any DNS that you know, and then saved. Then you accept with yes, and then you also accept again, and we are done with it. So now we can see that we have configured it to manual. That is, IP assignment is now manual. Okay, let me go back small and come again. It says manual. So let's use our command prompt to check the IP address again. So ipconfig, enter, move on to wireless LAN adapter Wi-Fi, and now we are having IP address to the new one we set 10.141.8181.20, and then subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Our default gateway is 10.141.181.174. So that's how we change or we configure IP address, or we configure static IP address on our machine. So we will end here. If any information or question, you can drop in the comment section. I will come and then give you answer. Thank you for watching.